welcome to this edition of McAllen for Everyone. I'm Roxanne Lerma.
And I'm Roy Cantu.
We begin today with a look back at the McAllen City Commission meeting.
Here's a recap for you.
Hello everyone, I'm Xochitl Mora and welcome to your McAllen Minutes. If you missed the McAllen City Commission meeting of February 12th, don't worry, we have a quick rundown of all of the items that were discussed. McAllen City Commissioners want to improve north-south mobility throughout the city. Under the consent agenda, they authorized a resolution to provide funding to the Texas Department of Transportation for acquisition of additional right-of-way on Sherry Road from Mile 3 to Mile 5. Additionally, the McAllen Commission authorized 3 applications to be submitted to TxDOT under the Economically Disadvantaged Counties program, which would reduce McAllen's match for the 3 construction projects from 20% to 2.4% for the Bicentennial Boulevard Extension Project and the northbound passenger lane and inspection station projects at the Anzalduas International Bridge. The total savings would be over $2.8 million, reducing the city's responsibility for these projects from over $3.2 million to less than $400,000. Under bids and contracts, McAllen City Commissioners approved awarding a contract to low bidder Rigney Construction of Edinburgh in the amount of just under $1.7 million for the construction of a covered inspection station complete with restroom facilities and fixed furniture for passengers at Anzalduas International Bridge. The contract still needs approval from GSA before moving forward with the project. The McAllen City Commission also approved moving forward with a bond election for taxpayer approval for $22 million in drainage improvements and $3 million in traffic equipment and projects. Voters will get to decide on the bond election on Saturday, May 5th, 2018, with early voting set to begin in mid-April. If approved, the estimated tax impact would be $1.50 per month for a home valued at $100,000. Finally, the McAllen City Commission approved a donation from the McAllen Development Corporation for $1 million to the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley Medical School that will be used for developing the recruitment packages for top-tier researchers at the facility. The money will be used to purchase the necessary equipment and supplies that would be utilized by the facility to conduct clinical trials for cervical cancer in the Rio Grande Valley. We hope you enjoyed this recap of your McAllen City Commission meeting. Meetings are set for the 2nd and 4th Monday of each month. We also air the entire meeting on the McAllen Cable Network on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Nestled in the bustling epicenter of the Rio Grande Valley is a great place to live, work, and visit. Recognized as a business-friendly community with a unique tropical climate, a leader in international trade and commerce, an exquisite performing arts center, first-class hotels, hundreds of dining options, and acres of parks. This exciting tourist destination is one of the state's leaders in retail sales, the nation's lowest cost of living, top-notch schools, and the best quality of life. There's only one McAllen.
Thanks so much for staying with our coverage of the City of McAllen. I am Roxanne Lerma, back in the McAllen Cable Network studios with our very own Mayor, Jim Darling. Mayor, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, Roxanne.
So, not as much of a grand entrance into our studios today as what we've gotten accustomed to in our City of McAllen.
But I did trip coming up the stairs, so
okay.
That was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that was pretty close. Yeah. Obviously, we're talking about you grabbing not just state, but national headlines. You decided to make another daredevil entrance into your State of the City address, so tell us about that.
Well, I don't know. I think riding in spandex was pretty daredevil, but this was a little easier. But, you know, it's for a message. It's always for a message.
Right.
And the message was safe and sound, that our city is a safe city, and there's a lot of reason for that. Congressman Vicente had a press conference the Friday before because he was tired of when people say he's a congressman from McAllen explaining that we're safe because of perceptions. So I'm glad it got national attention, and the message was important, though. We're safe and sound.
That's right. So you rappelled into the McAllen Convention Center, and like I said, it captured a lot of headlines. But again, you did reinforce that message of we're safe and sound. Why did you opt for that theme this year?
Well, it's been affecting us, you know, with the new medical school, trying to recruit physicians and research people and professors and those kind of people who had a perception it's dangerous. And if you're going to come down to a city for your career move, you want to make sure it's a safe city. And so I've had people call me. I've been in meetings where people said my spouse didn't want me to come down even for a meeting because it's dangerous. And so I've been wanting for a year to try to get that message across better than we had. And so I thought it was a great opportunity to stay in the city, and you know, the entrances always get some publicity, and so hopefully it worked. But we're going to keep sending that message and figure out how we're going to do that so that people aren't afraid to come to McAllen, because there's absolutely zero reason to fear that.
So we want to reinforce that message because, I mean, here in McAllen, we know the truth. We're safe. We are not in a war zone. Right. Which is in direct opposition to some of the things that we hear, you know, in national headlines. But we were going to host the Games of Texas, and that was one of the things that came up.
Sure, I had to do letters to the editor. I did some phone interviews up there because they literally were going to have a separate Games of Texas, so they didn't have to come to the Valley. Not because we don't have great people, but they had unreasonable fear for coming down here because of reputation. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where that came from, but I think a lot of rhetoric. I mean, when all the things that are happening in Austin and Washington didn't help and kind of made that even more serious. So it was that kind of worked. When the Games of Texas came, I think we had 7,000. This time we had 11,000. Mm-hmm. So people came down, it was safe. They spread that word a little bit among the athletic community, whatever it is, to come down. So I think it's important we do it. You know, I was a little skeptical because I didn't want to let people think the message being we got a crazy mayor, because we know that. But I mean, the idea was, though, and I think that worked. I think, you know, getting their attention on police and fire and the great job that they do down here is really outstanding. And it's not just an average. We are one of the safest cities in the United States and Texas, and so we need to put that message out. And what I want to make people do is when they go up north to tell people that. Not just wait for somebody to say, oh, it's dangerous down there. No, I want people to how's everything going to McAllen? The first thing they're saying is, you know, there's a misperception, and talk about and hopefully use some of those statistics to encourage people to believe what's really true, and that's we're safe.
And you mentioned in your address that it's not just a slogan, it's the truth. We have the numbers to back it up. I think, 33 years, and this is the safest, or we've had the best overall crime rate that we've seen in 33 years?
Right, yeah. I mean, those statistics are amazing when you look at some of the cities across the country that have serious problems. You know, you really have to look for trouble to get in trouble in McAllen. You have to look for it, I think. So.
Overall safest city in the state of Texas.
Yes, overall, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, on another note, big check presentation recently to UTRGV. Big deal.
It's the medical school, and the check will go for the research center in McAllen. And so
I love that.
That's important.
Right.
You know, one of the things when they had the medical school, and there was, you know, a pledge of $2 million a year. And I didn't want, with sales tax and just writing a check to them when it wasn't a fully developed medical school, I wondered why. And so I went up to Austin and said, why do you need our money? You got PUF funds. Well, PUF funds can't be used for operation. So I was told if you want to have a first-tier medical school, you have to have research. And if you want to have research, you have to have money that's sometimes not included in the budget because you don't know what it's going to take to get, say, a top-notch research program down here. That's why you usually recruit a program, and that takes the head of the research with his team, because it's a team approach. So you don't know how many people in the team, so there's kind of like off-budget money, if you will. And so Chancellor McRaven said, if you want to participate, that's where we need it. And so when I came back, I said, that's what we're going to do. We're just not going to write a check to the university. We want to have some of those programs. And So Dr. Kraus came aboard, and we have the first one. He said, here it is, here's what we think it's going to cost. It's cervical cancer research, it's important research. And then it's economic development when you take a look at it, because if you hit a home run and do it, you get on the map. Maybe you develop the pharmaceuticals down here or the equipment or whatever it is, or you recruit other research through that. And all those are paying jobs. And if you go to San Antonio, I stood on the first steps of the first building at the medical center.
Right.
And every project has to have the first building, right? And that's what we have. And so if you have that vision of saying this is what it could be like, but you have to participate as in our area. So we've done it by project, and we'll probably go forward, hopefully doing a specific project, and use that and tout some of the economic development capacity for that. And maybe other cities will start participating in their medical school via that, instead of just writing a check. So it's really important. And then the end result is, I think, the most important part is helps with the health of our community. You know, cervical cancer is a very serious
Right, the funds
illness.
are targeted, right, towards research of cervical cancer, particularly in Hispanic women.
Sure, and even if it just gets people to go in and get their checkups earlier because of the publicity or because of clinical trials and everything else, I think it enhances our health. So to me, it's a win-win all over the place, and it makes sense. And so I went to the MEDC board and said, I'm giving you, I'd like you to participate. And so I think they're behind it because it's economic development. So we'll see how all that develops, but I think it's important. I get the monthly magazine from UT San Antonio, the medical school up there, doing great things. And there's no reason why we can't do great things here. If you take a look at it, we got 1.2 million people, almost what they have up there. So I think our capacity's tremendous for growth, and I'm excited about it. And hopefully we'll do more projects.
I like the way you think, that even if one female, goes to go get a checkup sooner, then that's already a win for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other things we look for is, the research centers in the South Dove campus. We already have the major family practice resident program in South McAllen campus, the South Dove campus, I call it. We have the residence villages, and so they live there, so they get a taste of McAllen. And there's a new multi-specialty clinics open up, and hopefully some announcements later on are even bigger and better. And the idea doesn't have to be in McAllen, but I'd like to be in McAllen. And I think it's important that we have to have a presence. When we did the $2 million pledge, I said, here's what I want. Well, at the time, administrative building was a big thing. I'd rather have research, and we got the research building here.
Right.
Administrative building, it'd be nice if it'd be here, and then supposedly it's going to start.
We could welcome the administrative building too.
The master's program turned into PhD programs in South McAllen, and then industrial research, which they're supposed to be doing. And so they have a building down there still working on trying to get them to staff it. So presence in McAllen University is great, and I think Guy Bailey's doing a good job of trying to make sure that there's a presence all over the valley. But I'm the mayor of McAllen, and we're McAllen, so we want our part here. And I think the research building is a huge step to that.
Excellent. Okay, and lastly today, recently we had the Vice President of the United States in McAllen, so tell us about that.
Well, I think the trip is the typical trip, with the Border Patrol and ICE to see the detention center and the river and the border, get a taste for what the border is like. You really can't. And hopefully he goes away with the impression that it's, we already have a border. Unlike California and Arizona and West Texas, there is no border. It's just desert, and so where is the border? Well, except for a post someplace. But so there's a fence that defines a border. We have a border. It's the river.
Yeah, we have a border.
I don't want us to establish another border. I think border protection is really important. I think in some places a fence or a wall may make, but surely not across the border, and especially when it's displacing our existing border, which is a relatively good deterrent. I mean, you still got to go across the Rio Grande River, which is not an easy task to do. Hopefully when they take a look at it, border protection doesn't mean establishing a brand new border, because we have one. And I'm confident that that message gets sent to Washington. And when you talk about Border Patrol, they need a whole bunch of different things, because you can go around, under, through fences, so you better have the mechanisms when they do come across for legal purposes that you can respond to it. And so just building a wall doesn't get there. I think the Border Patrol's idea is to try to funnel them to the extent where it's easy to catch them. And I think, you know, we have to look at foreign policy of why they're coming over, because it's not really Mexicans coming over. The economy in Mexico and NAFTA has really strengthened those. So those are Central Americans.
Right. Which is the
coming
influx
over.
that we've seen already for years.
You know, and the last thing we want, when you know, all the coverage with the Vice President's visit is the result of all this coverage is going to be we're not safe and sound. So.
All right. Mayor Jim Darley, thank you so much for being with us in the studio. And we thank you for watching this edition of Meeting with the Mayor for the City of McAllen. I'm Roxanne Lerma.
Hi, I'm Yesenia Rodriguez, Deputy City Secretary with the City of McAllen. Here's a short video to help you vote in our next city election. When entering the polling location, the voter will provide the required identification to the poll worker. Once the poll worker has verified the information, the poll worker will be given an activation card and proceed to the express vote machine. Voter will proceed with the following steps. Step 1. Hand the activation card to the poll worker so they may insert the card in the machine and select a preferred language. Step 2. Voter will touch the screen to make selections. Step 3. Verify your selections. Step 4. Print activation card and review your selections. Before exiting the polls, the activation card must be inserted into the tabulator to cast your vote. Do not leave the polling location without doing this. If you have any questions about our voting process, please contact the City Secretary's office at 956-681-1020.
And now let's take a look at the latest edition of Commissioner's Corner. Roy Cantu has that for you.
Welcome to the McAllen Cable Network. I'm Roy Cantu, and with me today is Commissioner Omar Quintanilla with Commissioner's Corner. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
One of the big projects in your district is the Benson Hike and Bike Trail expansion.
Yes, we're very excited about it. It's almost done. As the residents from around there know, we've had construction there for about 6 months or so, but it's nearing completion. I expect it to be completed in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And it's really looking nice out there. The trees are planted, and it's starting to take shape. It's really nice.
You're going to have what the 2nd Street and the Bicentennial Hike and Bike Trails have. You're going to have some nodes, parking lot. You have solar lights out there on the path and stuff.
That's right. There's a parking lot there. There's some solar lights to take care of some of the lighting at night, and there's a nice walkway, pathway. And then there's some trees, and so it's going to be really nice.
I know the master plan to sort of connect all the hike and bike trails, so people not only on the east side of the city but the west side of the city can enjoy. And this is really going to add a lot to the west part of McAllen.
That's right. It adds to the beautification part of the entire city, and it also gets us out of our house and outside and getting healthier. So that's the main benefit for this hike and bike trail.
What's interesting is that unless you're a dog owner, you don't appreciate this, but you're going to have drinking fountains for people and their pets.
That's right.
They're phenomenal right now. I've gone to the one on 2nd Street, and people, you don't think it's a big deal, but for pet owners, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. You don't want to see your pet overheat, and so definitely.
And you also have some those beautiful canopies. There's some shade structures already on the first part that's already been laid out, but they're going to be throughout the hike and bike trail. Right?
Canopy's already there, and the next thing is going to be the concrete for the parking, and that should be in pretty soon. So we're really excited. It should be ready here in the next few weeks.
Okay, and you have our final topic. You have a town hall meeting coming up.
That's right. I've been in office now almost a year. In May it'll be a year, and I thought it'd be a good time to visit with people of District 3 and let them know what's going on, not only in the district but in the city. And so on March the 6th, we're planning a town hall at Las Palmas Community Center with representatives of engineering and parks, and also other city staff. And I'm going to be presenting some information about what's going on. And we'll also take questions or suggestions from the public. And this will be a great opportunity to express your concerns or ideas, and we can see what we can do to work together. Yeah.
So how do you feel after your first year?
It's been great. I've enjoyed working with residents and members of the commission, working together to try and make our city even better, and it's gone really well. I'm looking forward to the next 3 years.
I know every time we talk to commissioners after their town hall meetings, they go, that's where we get ideas to sort of go back to our district and sort of improve them. I know Commissioner Aida Ramirez said that was an idea that came out of one of her meetings was the skate parks.
Oh, okay.
And so she put one in hers. So who knows what's going to happen in your district?
You never know. And I know that there's a lot of great ideas out in the community, and this is a good opportunity for people just to come out and to share those ideas, because if they don't share them, we can't talk together and try to put those ideas into action. And so I'm looking forward to it. I hope to have a good turnout because I know that people from District 3 are active and involved, and I know that they'll come out. And so Las Palmas Community Center, it's convenient. It's in a convenient location with a lot of space, and we'll have a lot of room so that people can come and to share their ideas.
So join the commissioner out March 6th at Las Palmas Community Center for his town hall meeting. Well, thank you very much. Any final words you'd like to say?
No, that's about it. I look forward to the town hall meeting and the many other events, health-related events that we have coming on, and hope to see everybody at the town hall coming up soon.
Well, thank you very much, Commissioner, for your time.
Thanks for the time.
That's Commissioner Omar Quintanilla with Commissioner's Corner for the City of McAllen. I'm Roy Cantu.
La ciudad de McAllen está clasificada como la ciudad más segura de Texas. Está reconocida como una comunidad amigable, líder en el comercio internacional, con un clima tropical único, con puntos de entretenimiento claves, un nuevo centro de áreas escénicas, alojamiento en diversos hoteles y variados restaurantes. McAllen es un punto turístico de excelencia, escuelas de primera clase, bajo costo de vida y diversidad de cultura. McAllen lo tiene todo.
Let's keep McAllen healthy and clean. I'm Tex, asking pet owners to scoop the poop. If we all do our part, we can get the stink out of our community. Pet waste in parks and public spaces is unhealthy and unsanitary. Poop is not fertilizer. It's not biodegradable. Less pet waste in the stormwater drainage system and waterways means a happier and healthier community. Let's keep McAllen beautiful. Let's scoop the poop.
If you'd like more information on the City of McAllen, join our social media family. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, like us on Facebook, connect with us on Snapchat, and subscribe to our City of McAllen YouTube channel. We provide daily updates of events and issues important to our community. We invite you to share your thoughts with us on social media.
McAllen is an extremely special community. Its people are the reason why. Take a look.
My career means more than just a career. It's a way of life. It's a passion that you have to have for police service. If you don't enjoy working with people and helping people, this is not the job for you. It's not just about writing reports. It's not just about arresting people. It's about trying to help victims put their lives back together. I love McAllen because this is where my family lives. This is where I grew up. This is where I went to school. And this is where I have chosen to live. It's just the best city.
We chose to do a foster adoption route.
All right.
Should we brush your hair? And luckily, within 9 days, had our first call. And in that, we've been given an opportunity to give 2 children a home that is safe. It's something that they will be able to call their own and be able to build their story here. It's a wonderful place to raise the family because of all the opportunities that exist inside McAllen, the entertainment, the family outings, the things that are hosted, the 5Ks, the 10Ks, the marathons, all things that you can involve the family as a group. We can all do things together. We're kind of in this middle ground where we're growing and we have so many things that have come to McAllen in the last decade. So we're starting to be a big city, but yet we've not lost that community feel. people know you. People, if they don't know you, they treat you as if they know you.
I found out that the McAllen Fire Department was hiring, and at first I was pretty intimidated to take the test. McAllen being the city that it is with high expectations and high standards, it was pretty intimidating for an 18-year-old. It doesn't feel like a job. It's awesome. I mean, I love it. I mean, I love the guys here. I mean, when I'm on shift, I'm here, and when I'm off of shift, I'm also at the station. And a lot of people tell me, you know, hey, don't you have a home? Don't you have a house? And I mean, but I enjoy it. I enjoy all my time here. We respond to everything and anything. I mean, if someone's house is flooded, we're gonna go. If someone's having problems with their pipes, we're gonna go. If someone has a problem, we're gonna go, and they expect us to fix it. I mean, if we're not a plumber, they expect you to be a plumber, and that's exactly what we do. We go and we'll find a way. This is my calling, and McAllen is the best city to work for.
Okay, boys and girls, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our fast focus number 33.
My name is Justin Maya. I am 9 years old, and I am a 4th grader at Escandon Elementary. Well, some things that I enjoy doing are playing sports, working on puzzles, and also reading books. When I grow up, I want to become a neurosurgeon. I was watching this TV show with my mom, and I saw they were doing brain surgery, and it looked really fun and cool. And then I searched more about it on Google, and I found out that it's a really challenging and fun job. So I started thinking, should I do this for my future? And now it's my dream. I think it's really safe because one time I saw a car crash. The cops came in like 1 minute. Like, it took them no time to realize that there's a car crash. And it was so cool just seeing how safe the city is. And I always see police on the patrol, like, looking out for everyone. It's phenomenal.
That's a look at this edition of McAllen for Everyone.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.